Welcome back to the ShowRatings.tv Pilot Roundtable podcast, a Southgate Media Group podcast. I'm Kyle Tremblay, and this show is going to be about the Starz premiere of Outlander, but it's Monday night right now, and Megan Haas and I have been trying to schedule this podcast all weekend, and we finally settled on right now, this very minute. And about half an hour ago, news broke that legendary comic and actor Robin Williams has died. So, real quick, Meg, what is your favorite Robin Williams role?
It would have to be Mrs. Doubtfire, because I just remember watching that on tape growing up and replaying it.
I remember renting that movie from Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, Blockbuster. Loved that movie. I have two. The Genie in Aladdin, which to this day is my favorite Disney movie, and I saw it when I was a kid, and loved his performance. And then the professor in Good Will Hunting, which was I think just a wonderful role. So
I think people forget that he was also a dramatic actor.
Yeah,
and very, very good at it.
Did you see 1 Hour Photo or Insomnia?
I did not, but I've seen through kind of film school and all that, I've seen clips of most of his work.
Yeah, he went through like a weird phase like a decade ago where he was like the bad guy in horror movies, and he was awesome. And both those movies are really underrated and very creepy and weird. And I don't think the public necessarily wanted to see Mrs. Doubtfire as a serial killer, but he did amazing work. So anyway, so because this is a TV and entertainment podcast, rest in peace, Robin Williams. But this is a podcast about pilot roundtables, and so we're going to talk about Outlander this episode. According to Star's website, while on her second honeymoon, World War II combat nurse Claire Randall is mysteriously transported back in time to 1743 Scotland, where she's kidnapped by a group of Scottish Highlanders, whose ranks include an injured young man named Jamie. And here to talk about Outlander is Meg Haas. Meg, this is a show on Starz.
Yep.
A network that features such quality programming as Magic City and Da Vinci's Demons, and of course the immortal Black Sails, which you talked about with me on this very podcast, at which both of us gave.
Black Sails got a season 2.
It did, against all odds.
I have not watched anything besides the pilot.
Nope. I decided, you know what? I've had my fill of pirate politics for one lifetime. So it is in that context with which Outlander emerges. What did you think of Outlander individually, and then maybe we'll get to relative to what else Starz is doing.
Okay, well, individually, I actually really enjoyed it, and if you showed me this and said, guess what channel this is on, nowhere near thinking of Starz. It is such a good drama. I really enjoy it. It's from a series of books, and the only thing that could possibly hold it back is when you describe it to somebody, people think you're crazy.
Yes.
They're like, this is about what now? And you're like, no, it's really good. They got people who are pretty unknown, like the main character. She's been a model. She has not been anything besides. She has not done immense acting before, and she's really good at it. And it's got a great premise that if you put aside the what is this about, it's very entertaining.
Yes, and I'm gonna make an attempt at the main the lead actress's name, Catriona Balfe. I'm going to guess.
I thought it was Catriona.
Catriona,
okay.
We'll go with that. I'm just guessing, but she is terrific in this pilot.
She's very good.
Yeah, really, really good. Shockingly so, for a lot of reasons. You mentioned she's a model, and not an actress that anyone's heard of, and also this is a Starz show, so your expectations are already low going in.
Somebody on BuzzFeed summed it up perfectly. You're watching a network that has a Z at the end of their name.
Yes.
And yes, it's called Starz with a Z. And then it did not prove itself very strong with its original series. But this, even though Starz did not create the story.
Yes.
is very successful.
And that's the key point. I think that
Yes.
two things really help this from Star's perspective, because everything we've seen from Stars and its foray into original programming has been frankly a disaster. No Stars show has worked. I think Black Sails is their biggest creative success, and again, we give Black Sails 2 thumbs down. The two things that worked is A, they got, I believe the man's name is Ronald D. Moore, the guy who did Battlestar Galactica, to do this series. And Battlestar Galactica is, by all counts, the most successful sci-fi series of the modern TV era. So you have someone who knows what he's doing at the helm of this show and knows how to make sci-fi relatable to non-sci-fi people. Even though that series was set in space, obviously, and this series is set in the past, it's still it's so vital to sell a world like this in a way that could appeal to someone who's maybe not inclined to be interested in it. And then also, it's adapted from a series of books that are immensely popular and that lay out a track for this series that, I mean, like you said, if you read this premise on paper, you'd be like, nope, this is a non-starter.
I would have been like, did Stars come up with this?
Yes, exactly. It's the kind of premise that Stars would take one look at in their writer's room and they'd be like, guys, I know we're Stars, but even this is too much for us. But because the books are so popular, it gives them license in the same way that Game of Thrones has license to be a little bit crazy because you know where it's headed. And so those two things, I think, really saved Stars from itself here and produced what I think, even though this pilot isn't for me as a 30-year-old dude, is a very effective pilot.
Yeah, and it's there's no part of it that I was watching it thinking this is cliched or this is cheap or this is selling itself short. Every part of it I was like, this is pretty understandable. Like, she's gonna go here and she's gonna be transferred back in time, and it's okay. It's gonna happen.
You can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful series. First of all, it's shot in Scotland. It's absolutely stunning. Like there's that scene where right at like what precipitated her transfer back to the past with the dancing women around the thing, that's just like, wow, like this is real, like stuff is going on here, like I can't take my eyes off this.
Yes.
And just the whole the whole sense of place, the series being set in Scotland is very strong, and just everything. I like they also make this is where the Battlestar Galactica creator comes in handy. Like, they made really cool little decisions with this series, beyond like the obvious good decisions of the casting and adapting the book. But like, people speaking Gaelic is a big thing.
Yes.
Like, there's the Scottish band of like there's the Central War between the English and the Scottish speak Gaelic, and the lead finds herself in the past, sort of camping with them. Kidnapped by them / camping with them. It's hard to draw a line, but they don't put subtitles for the Gaelic, which is so interesting because it just reinforces like this sense of like, wow, where are we? Like, we're in 18th century Scotland, and the show very smartly, I think, does this from the perspective of the lead actress, Claire. Right? We don't have this all-knowing perspective where we know everything that's going on to a detail. Like, we know what they're saying, and Claire's in the dark. We're seeing this from Claire's eyes,
that's one of the strongest points. And the one thing I did know is that when I was watching it, I realized that they do like a good 45 minutes to an hour of just Claire's story that really has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't matter her husband exploring some old thing. It's probably going to come back up in another episode, but they do really make you connect to her in the first hour, where you just see little things with her, like the vase and everything, and it's in the book, but you feel this is your main character. This is who you're going to be following. And they needed that so that when she time travels, however many minutes into the show, you're like, oh my, okay, we're going with this person. We're just as lost too. Where's Frank? We're doing that as well.
Yeah. The one aspect of it that I was a little unsure on is it was the scenes in not the present day, because the present day for this series is actually what, 1945, during World War II, I think.
No, the present day is, I don't know, that can be debatable because now they're going to be in this old time Scotland for
Oh no,
a
I
while.
no
So
I.
I guess
I'm sorry. We're saying that she got sent back to the past, and
yes, she did get
the series
yes.
takes place in the past. But I'm saying
Yes.
she got sent back to the past from a present that was World
Yeah,
War II.
her present
Yeah,
day
her
is
present,
yes.
right,
Okay.
is World War II. I I that relationship seemed weird. Her relationship with Frank, like I understand the premise of the show is like a cross-time love triangle, basically, where she's
Yeah.
committed to Frank, but then she meets Jamie in the past, and then the actor who plays Frank is playing this awful British soldier who tried to rape her. Which,
Yes.
yeah, so a lot going on that I
I
tried to keep
think that
straight.
relationship was supposed to seem strange because
Okay,
they had not seen each other for the entire war.
they did,
So
yes.
I think they were trying to make it like they're married, but they don't know each other anymore. And they really have this one common thread of they're married.
Right.
So I think it was supposed to seem a bit strange. I think it's going to make us think Jamie is more approachable as who we want for Claire.
Yeah, because I mean, I thought, like, normally when you talk about a central love triangle as sort of being the conceit of a show, you talk about, like, Team Edward, Team
Yeah.
whatever the other guy,
Yeah.
Jacob? What was his name? I forget the Twilight characters' names.
You're very yeah.
Yeah,
You're correct.
I got it. Team Edward and Team Jacob. Are those the two?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So it's like you would think like there's Team Frank and Team Jamie, but
There's not.
there's not, right? Everyone's rooting for Jamie. It's
The
right.
thing is, you feel Claire's rooted loyalty to
Yes.
Frank. You feel her need to stay faithful, and they even have that conversation. Like he said he would not be angry at her if she strayed from their marriage while she was at war because they were separated for so
That
long.
was weird.
So they had that
Yeah.
conversation. Well, I got where they were coming from, Kyle. Put on your emotional hat. I
I'm sorry.
understand where they were coming from. He was saying that you were away from each other for so long. I know you missed me. I know it was hard. So yes, that was that part. But then she said she never did stray, even if she was lying or not, she never did. And so I think that emphasizes team loyalty or team Jamie.
I
I don't think it's going to be team Frank.
Fair, good point. I thought, and I'm definitely wrong about this, but I thought he told her that because he had cheated on her and was trying to, like sort of lay the groundwork
Yeah.
for that at some
Say, I
point.
did it
Oh,
too,
you did?
so we're not terribly angry.
Exactly. Like I thought that he was feeling guilty about having cheated on her during war and
I think
was saying that
they
for his own benefit.
if they added that in, we would have 100% be team Jamie in the future because
Right.
oh well Frank cheated on you, you don't need him. So that
Yeah.
if they added that in, um I think they did it the right way. I mean it is in the I am not I just started reading the book.
You did.
So I'm not there yet.
Did you start
But
reading the book because of the show?
yes. Um,
Oh, Meg!
yes, and the
Wow.
fact it was on sale on my Kindle and I was like it's fate. So
Oh,
I
oh,
need to read it.
wow.
Um
This
and
is
so
shocking.
so they kind of they I think they with setting it up with somebody watching her, and of course this is going to come back up in the why can she time travel, that's probably why the guy was watching her, it's a ghost, etc. And by setting that up he said, I wouldn't be mad if you cheated on me, something like that. And that makes us that just makes their loyalty and their bond more because
Hmm.
they're both understanding of their jobs, they're both understanding of their lives that they have now and where they've been, and so it kind of strengthens their relationship, especially when she says that she didn't. She gets angry but understandably. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's going to be like I said, team loyalty and team Jamie. Not one part of me thinks, "Oh, why don't you wait for Frank? He's awesome."
I think
It
you're.
was just
I think
strange.
you're exactly right. I think that's it. People rooting for her to be loyal, or people rooting for her to jump ship and go over to the
I
Scottish
think
resistance.
I think the majority of viewers
Oh,
are going to want her to jump ship.
I mean, listen. Yeah, listen. I'm a straight guy, but Jamie is a handsome man.
I know she was like your arm's dislocated. I was like fix it. Get on his
Yes,
side.
my whole Twitter timeline
Yes.
was very excited at the introduction of Jamie. Um, One of the things I like about Claire, right? Claire's her name.
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't write it down anywhere. Um,
Good
is
job.
they did this scene right off the bat where when she's still in, it was actually during World War II, so it's actually a little bit before the quote unquote present day of the series, where they show her as a combat nurse, and she's very competent and very tough and very
Yeah.
just very like in charge. And then we have it's a romance, so there's obviously like a lot of relationship stuff, and this pilot was, I would say, very slow at times,
Yeah.
intentionally so. It was trying to be slow.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be fast. But then when she gets sent back to the past, you mentioned she relocates the guy, Jamie's arm. Um, and again, in a very
She's a strong main
yes,
character.
and that's what I was
Very,
getting
very
to.
strong, and I really like it.
Yes, that's I think the strength of the show is that this pilot does such a good job of establishing her as, even though she exists in 1945, before the like major women's rights
She's
movement.
going even further back.
Yeah, she is. Now she exists in the 18th century, but she is very like strong in what we would consider a modern way, and I think that
Yes.
really works and creates a super important central tension for the show. So not everything is the love triangle, right? Like
Yes.
there's also this like fish out of water story because we characterized her so strongly, where she's this independent, strong woman existing in a time where that's completely unheard of. And
Yeah,
so
and
now that could be the center of the show, and every scene doesn't have to be about the love triangle. That's really
yeah,
good.
exactly. And there's going to be this she also has history on her side because she's from the future, so
Yes.
she knows what, like, even when she remembers when Frank told her about, oh, they used to put a British general up there.
Yeah.
And then later she goes, hey, they used to put a British general up there. We might be ambushed.
That was
So even
yeah.
yeah.
That was a
And
little on
then
the nose.
something like that. There's a British guy on the rock
Yeah.
and he's going to attack. So she's strong and she's fiery. She's got an attitude.
Yeah.
She has no problem with saying what she needs to say.
Yes.
So and she's got nothing. She knows what she wants and she's dominant. And this character can carry a show. I mean, she carried how many novels? So part of that belongs to the author, and part of that belongs to the script writer of this pilot.
And the
So
performance.
and the performance, yes, they picked a great main character.
Yes.
She's equal parts like genuine and nice, and then she's fiery and flirty, and she's all around just all balanced with that.
And
So it makes for a very enjoyable story.
yes. And and it also allows the show to appeal to not only people who haven't read the book, but people who aren't into historical romances. That's a
Exactly.
character that pops, and that's a character that you can root for, and you can definitely build the show around. And even if you're like me and you're not into the romance aspect of things, or you're just not normally, you don't ship people, there's still
What? That's the best part.
I know you love your shipping, Meg. I know, but there's still, even for non-shippers, there's still
There's
plenty
still a
here.
story.
There's still
Yes.
plenty here to enjoy. So,
and
mhm.
and Entertainment Weekly released an article, and they spoiled it for me. I know what happened, so I'm not happy with
Oh
that.
no,
I'm not going to do it for anybody else, but they're like, this is what happened in the books.
EW, what are you
I'm like,
doing?
Entertainment Weekly, what happens in the books is what's going to happen in the series.
Oh,
They're like, this
terrible.
is how book one ends, on a cliffhanger. This is that cliffhanger. Thanks, Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment
So,
Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly put out this thing saying that we're going to be introduced to an array of characters that we know. Like George Washington's going to make an appearance, and
Ooh,
all of these people are mentioned. So it's also this whole other side of who we're going to meet in this time period and what they're going to do, and that connection to history, as well as this love triangle, even though it's kind of a triangle with one of its parts in the future, it's
yes,
going to be there as well.
great. Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to it going forward. Do you have any comparisons for this show? Anything that, if someone's thinking about checking it out, you can compare it to?
I've heard it been referenced to as Game of Thrones for women a lot, which, I mean, pros and cons, because I'm a woman, I watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
However, it is a woman-geared character in Game of Thrones, kind of, minus the whole magical aspect. Well, I know they're time traveling, so maybe not.
No,
so
I disagree.
yeah.
I disagree with that, because Game of Thrones, the defining aspect of Game of Thrones structurally is that it's told from multiple perspectives.
Yes.
And this show is exclusively from one perspective. And so I understand that it's an easy comparison because Game of Thrones is very, very popular, and I love it too. But there is no the idea of Game of Thrones is that it's a world, not a character. This is a character.
This is a character.
And so I would push back against that.
The Downton Abbey crowd might like it.
Yes, that's mine.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I have another one too. But if you like Downton Abbey, I have a hard time imagining you not liking this historical romance drama.
If you're watching Downton Abbey for the history of it, you're probably not going to cross over for this. If you're watching Downton Abbey for the soap opera aspect of it, you're probably going to really enjoy this.
And who at this point in Downton Abbey is watching it for the history? I can understand season 1.
Nobody.
But we're a few seasons in now, so
season 1 hopefuls, yes. AKA me.
Exactly. The other show, I think it is Downton Abbey crossed with Turn, the AMC Revolutionary War drama, which occurs during much the same period of time, and has very telling a fictional story in a historical setting. The difference. Turn.
Minus all of the dramatic cinematography.
Turn.
Sure.
Turn, if it were interesting.
Yes.
Would be mine.
I was gonna come right out and completely butcher Turn, but okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Turn was boring.
A hot mess?
I wouldn't give it a hot mess. I think it was. I'm not even.
It was not entertaining enough to be a hot mess.
Exactly. Too boring. It was a cold mess.
It was just a mess.
It was just a mess. It wasn't hot. It was dead on arrival, and I think I do believe it got a second season though. They're gonna pair it with Hell on Wheels, which seems perfect. So.
Oh my goodness! I posted something about Turn on Twitter, and I got really chewed out for it.
Did you?
I said Turn needs to be a little less dramatic, and it will start to focus on its story.
Ooh.
And somebody was like, "People were at war," and I was like, "People were not at war with dramatic lighting and slow camera angles, looking at them straightening their hair in the mirror.
Wow,
that was not war. That's Turn. People were at war." Fighting a battle. Turn is fighting a battle with its cameramen.
I didn't know you had so many hot takes on Turn. I should have had you on the round table for that.
I'm just remembering it because this historical woman started yelling at me on Twitter, and I was like, "Did you not see the dramatic turnaround gasp in the mirror? You didn't see that?" Because that's all I focused on.
Yes. All right, Meg. Well, thank you for being here. How can people keep up with you?
On Twitter at MEGGH11.
Excellent. So that concludes this episode of the ShowRatings.tv Pilot Roundtable. We invite you to check out this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts at southgatemediagroup.com and to read about, rate, and discuss all your favorite shows at ShowRatings.tv. You can follow me on Twitter at KyleLovesTV, Meg at MEGGH11, and ShowRatings at ShowRatingsTV. Until next time, this has been Kyle Tremblay. Thanks for listening.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.